Welcome to Guy History.
Standing in a historical setting or with relevant props, greetings, everyone. Today, we're diving deep into history to explore a time marked by devastation and fear, the Black Plague. Could you have survived such a catastrophic event? Let's find out. The plague's arrival. In the 14th century, a deadly disease known as the Black Plague, or the bubonic plague, swept across Europe, claiming millions of lives. It's crucial to understand the context of the time and the factors that contributed to its rapid spread. So, let's start the topic. What the Black Plague is. Black Plague was a deadly and harmful disease spread by a bacteria known as Yersinia pestis. According to sources, it was originated in Central Asia. This disease has taken a lot of lives. The bacteria that caused the Black Plague. Let's discuss the cause of the Black Plague. It's more important to know about the bacteria which caused this disease. So, this disease was caused by the Yersinia pestis bacterium, which is spread through fleas found on rats. Symptoms of the Black Plague. There are several symptoms of Black Plague. Symptoms included fever, body swollen and painful lymph nodes. Black Plague pandemic quarantines. During the Black Plague pandemic, officials imposed quarantines and travel bans to curb the disease's spread. While isolation might offer some protection, it would also sever social ties, leaving you emotionally adrift in unprecedented fear. The inability to escape afflicted areas or seek assistance would be a stark reminder of the limits of your survival. This was a very difficult time for the people at that time, which were out of connection with each other. Lack of resources at the time of quarantine. Food and water supplies became scarcer as the pandemic tore through towns. Your immune systems were weakened by famine and shortage, making you more prone to illness. It would become a daily struggle to deal with the sad reality of fighting the disease and the lack of essential nutrition. Suffered areas. Many of the countries suffered from the Black Plague. The Black Plague reached its height in the 14th century when it raced through Europe, Asia, and North Africa, killing a terrible number of people. Millions of individuals are thought to have perished due to the pandemic. The pandemic had severe social, economic, and cultural effects that caused entire towns, trading networks, and societal systems to disintegrate. Serving at the time of Black Plague. At that hard time, people had to survive very difficult. They were following different SOPs to minimize the effect of this disease. Most people have isolated themselves from the people, and they do not interact in society. Unique clothes were wearing by the people to save their bodies from the disease. While medical knowledge was limited, some herbs were believed to have potential healing properties, and they were used in attempts to treat or alleviate symptoms. Limited medical knowledge. Medical knowledge during the Middle Ages was severely limited. Physicians often resorted to ineffective treatments like bloodletting and herbal concoctions. The lack of understanding about germ theory made it nearly impossible to combat the highly contagious plague bacteria. Hygiene and sanitation. Hygiene and sanitation were appalling, even in cities. Garbage and waste were dumped into the streets, and clean water sources were scarce. This unsanitary environment created a breeding ground for disease-carrying fleas. Flea and rat infestations. Rats played a central role in spreading the plague. Fleas that infested rats carried the Yersinia pestis bacteria, which could be transmitted to humans through flea bites. Once the bacteria entered a human host, it caused the plague's devastating symptoms. Rapid transmission. The plague's rapid transmission was aided by trade routes and human migration. Infected individuals unknowingly carried the disease to new regions, sparking outbreaks in various parts of Europe. This disease was rapidly transmitted in people. Therefore the official at that time set up SOPs for people and told them to follow them strictly. Overcrowded living conditions. Overcrowded living conditions in cities contributed to the quick spread of the plague. People lived in close quarters, making it easy for the bacteria to jump from person to person. The government officials at that time issued standard SOPs for the people. They also warned the people to strictly follow the SOPs for their survival. Lack of effective treatments. Plague-stricken individuals faced a grim fate. With no effective treatments available, survival was rare once the symptoms took hold. The plague's swift progression left little time for intervention. Lack of personal protection. Personal protective equipment as we know it today was non-existent. People lacked the knowledge and resources to shield themselves from the disease, leaving them vulnerable to infection. Social and economic impact. The plague's devastation extended beyond health. It caused widespread fear and paranoia, leading to the isolation of infected individuals and the abandonment of cities. The economy crumbled, and societies were forever changed. The consequences of the Black Plague had lasting impacts on society, bringing about significant economic turmoil and profound cultural shifts. As the pandemic ravaged communities, the breakdown of social cohesion and connections would have exacerbated the challenges of survival, adding another layer of difficulty to an already shattered world. Could you survive? So, considering all these factors, could you have survived the Black Plague? The odds were undoubtedly stacked against the people of that time. The lack of medical knowledge, poor sanitation, and rapid transmission made it an incredibly challenging ordeal. Lessons learned. While we can't change the past, we can learn from it. The Black Plague highlights the importance of hygiene, sanitation, and medical advancements. It reminds us of the resilience of humanity and the progress we've made. The most important lesson is that life is lovely. Keep care of your health and your surroundings. Everyone deserves a better life. As we wrap up our journey through history, remember that our survival today rests on the lessons of the past. If you enjoyed this exploration, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Stay curious, and until next time, take care. These are all about surviving the Black Plague. Could you make it? If you want to explore more intriguing historical topics, check out these videos on our channel. Subscribe for more fascinating content. Thanks for watching.